everyone. Welcome to another episode of Breaking the Cycle with Devin. This is the channel where we talk about everything that has to do with financial independence and how we can actually get there faster. Today, I want to show you guys I want to show you guys one of my favorite tools that I'm using to help me achieve FIRE faster, and that is actually M1 Finance. I'm actually a big fan of M1 Finance. I'm going to show you guys my M1 Finance account today and talk to you a little bit about it and tell you about one specific feature that I really like about M1 Finance, and I really think it could help me achieve financial independence way faster, like considerably faster. Haven't done all the math yet, but I think it could really do it a lot faster, and just want to talk to you guys about it today. You guys let me know what you think about it. So first, we're just going to jump into Webull real quick. My Webull account. These are just a couple of stocks that I have invested in my M1 account. The reason why I like using the Webull account to just take a look at what the stock market's actually doing is because it displays it way better than M1 Finance does. M1 Finance does a great job of investing your money, but it doesn't actually give you all the information that you really need. And that's why I like M1 Finance. So I normally just throw everything that I have invested in here. This isn't everything right now, but I'm working on it. But these are the big ones. But the Vanguard S&P 500 is one that I'm invested in. The Vanguard Information Technology, which has been like on fire this year, is one that I'm invested in. Vanguard Total Stock Market is probably my favorite ETF to invest in. And then I like AT&T mainly because, let's look at it bigger. They are at like half of their peak price. So they're pretty low. Good value, and they have a fat dividend. Tesla, one of my probably my favorite stock of all time, and I'm going to be investing in this one for a very, very long time. I like to invest in Tesla when it's below $400, and right now it's a little bit high. It's $417, but I'd like to invest in Tesla when it's below $400. That's kind of what I look for. And then this is just the free stocks that I got from Webull. Zynga is the only reason why that's on here, or Zynga. Yeah, that's right. So if you want to get your Webull's currently giving out 3 free stocks for signing up with Webull and depositing $100. So if you want to get those free stocks, I got 3 of these. So they gave me, I guess they were worth $9 when it came out. So they gave me $27 when I signed up. But you can get up to a stock of value of $1,600. Obviously, very unlikely. I'm going to tell you the truth here. But, they're giving it away for free. So if you want to, just click on the link below and sign up for Webull. Okay, now let's jump into my M1 Finance account. So here we have my M1 Finance account. Okay, so I have 2 accounts. One's my Roth IRA, and this is my tax bill account, which I can't change the name for, which I can't figure out how to change the name for. But yeah, this is my M1 Finance account. I currently have $6,700 in my taxable account, and then in my Roth IRA, I only have $3,000 invested right now. I have a huge cash balance right now, and I know that, but that's because I'm currently moving all my investments over from other brokerages. So I used to have a Betterment account, I used to have a USAA account, Roth IRAs, and a Vanguard account. So I'm currently moving them all over, so all this cash is coming in, and I'm slowly depositing it. The market's a little bit high right now, and I just wait for red days, and then I slowly start to trickle it in, just dollar cost averaging my way into the market whenever it's at its lowest. We're not going to talk too much about the individual stocks I'm invested in, but you can take a look right here. You can see what I'm invested in. I don't want to go into too much detail on that. I'll do another video explaining why I specifically invest in these. But the big account we're more worried about right now is the taxable account. So M1 is just a brokerage like anyone else, like any other brokerage. but they allow you to invest in this portfolio fashion. So you can build portfolios, and anytime you invest money, it distributes it evenly across everything that you have inside your portfolio. So I have a couple portfolios here. This is first one's my growth portfolio, which basically mostly just follows. These are investments that don't really give out dividends for the most part, and they're just have a lot of potential growth in the future. And in our taxable accounts, we really like growth-based investments because then you don't have to pay taxes on them until you take them out, which is really, really nice. But even though that is true, I do still have a dividend income portion, which is actually, for right now, it's at 46%. But in the future, I'm probably going to bring it down a little bit because this might start becoming a tax pain in the butt. But, we'll see in the future. But in my dividend income portion, I've got the high dividend yield, Vanguard ETF, VYM. I actually hate this one. I really do hate this one. And this used to be at 30%, and it's down to 10% now. And I don't like this because it doesn't have a lot of growth potential. And when it comes to trying to achieve financial independence and retiring early, it doesn't have a lot of growth potential in it, but it does put out a big dividend. And the reason why I do think dividends are partially necessary are for two main reasons. One is that you will get that dividend unless the companies go broke. You will get that dividend no matter what. So even if the market crashes, you will still be getting that dividend. And that's the thing that I really like. That's what I really like about dividends. And then the second thing that I really like about dividend investing is mainly this guy right here. It's called dividend growth investing. And it's you basically invest in companies that grow their dividend over time. So companies that have proven that year after year that they increase their dividend. And that means that, especially when you're investing in them now, in 10, 20 years from now, if those dividends continue to increase, they could become substantial. And that's consistent money that you always get, and you never have to sell your stocks or anything. So that is kind of nice. So I do think dividend is part of a good portfolio for investing for financial independence. The other two that I have in here is I have one called individual stocks. I used to have a lot of stocks in there, but right now all I have is Tesla. Tesla is amazing. Tesla is proven time and time again to be one of the best companies out there, and they have all the features that I really like in a company. I like Elon Musk. He's proven that he wants to improve his products over basically anything else. And that is a vision that a lot of companies don't necessarily have. A lot of companies, once they get on top, they tend to get stale. But for right now, Tesla is showing that they're going to improve their products no matter what. And I really like that. And they've showed multiple quarters in a row now where they have shown growth. And they seem to be the only electric car maker out there right now that can actually put out an electric car. That's good. So that's why I really like Tesla. That's the only stock I'm invested right now. I thought about adding like Disney in there because I think Disney has like a Netflix future too, but I haven't quite done that yet. And then the last thing I have is blockchain. And blockchain is another whole complicated area that I don't think I want to go into in this video. But blockchain has the potential to be the future. And I'm willing to put in, obviously not much, but a little bit of money just to make sure that I'm part of it. Okay, let's talk about some specifics of M1 Finance that I really do like. So I do have M1 Plus. I don't currently use any features of M1 Plus, but I do like M1 Plus. Can I get to the site where they tell you everything about M1 Plus? Well, whatever. So M1 Plus basically has three features. You have got your investing feature, where you can create your portfolios and you can invest your money. They have the spend feature, which is basically just a checking account that you can have. It's basically just in a checking account, and it comes with a debit card. So it's not very different from any other checking account, but I don't personally use it, but I'm sure there's someone out there that would love this. You get 1% APY on your checking account, which is unheard of. There's literally no bank that I know of that gives you any interest at all on a checking account. So that's really nice. And then on their debit card, they give you 1% back on anything that you spend. I play the credit card game, so 1% back is in my opinion not that great, and it's definitely not worth it to get this just for 1% back. The interest on the checking account is nice, but you could always just, I don't know, I'd rather put it in a high yield savings account. But the feature of M1 Plus that I love the most is their borrow feature. And their borrow feature is very, very interesting. So let's go to the layer more. So borrow, M1 Borrow, lets you borrow money against your portfolio. So it's secured by your portfolio, which means you can get it at a really low interest rate. And right now it's currently at 2%, which is really, really low. Obviously, it's not going to stay there forever. It's based on the federal rate, which is currently at 0, and they add 2% to it, so it's at 2% right now. But for the next 2 or 3 years, I think it should be around 2%. And M1 Borrow, as long as you have over $10,000 in your account, you can borrow up to 35% of your portfolio. And it's actually a little higher than 35%, but they say it's 35%. And what does that mean for us? What does that mean for us in trying to achieve financial independence faster? So let me go back to my M1 account. So I don't have $10,000 yet, so I can't do this yet. But as soon as I have $10,000 in this account, I will do it and I will show it to you guys. But let me walk you through my thought processes, how we can use M1 Borrow to make us a lot more money. So as soon as I have $10,000 in this account, I will borrow, the 35% of this account that I can, and I'm going to reinvest it back into my portfolio. And you're thinking now, why would you do that? That doesn't even really make any sense. But the idea is that you borrow 35% of your portfolio, which will give me an extra $3,500 to invest. And obviously at these low amounts of money, it's not going to make a huge difference. But as you start building up money, it's going to make a huge difference. So let's make it easy. Let's say you just do 20% of portfolio, because there are some things that come along with it, like maintenance calls and stuff like that, which could become an issue. But if you borrow 20% and you put an extra $2,000 in it, if you're invested in, let's say, just an S&P 500, which has been averaging 10% every year, on average, it's been averaging yearly 10%. That means on those $2,000 that you take out, $2,000, 10%, you would make, sorry about that. So $2,000 at 10%, you'd make $200 off of that. And you'd only pay, 2% in interest. So you'd have, 2% in interest, and you'd make 10% on that money. So you'd have a net gain of 8% on that money every single year. And at these small numbers, it's only a couple $100, which doesn't make a big difference. But if you do this year after year after year, and your money's growing so much faster because you have more money invested, if you have $500,000 invested, and then all of a sudden you borrow 20% of 500,000, now all of a sudden you have an additional, what? Wow, public math, dude. Public math is tough. you have an extra $100,000 invested. And you have an extra $100,000 invested, and that is a lot of extra money to have invested. On $100,000 at a 10% average yearly growth in an S&P 500, you're going to be making $10,000 on that every year, and you're only going to have to pay $2,000 a year in interest. So you can see how the bigger the numbers get, the more money you can make. And that's my favorite feature of the M1 Finance account, or M1 Plus. And that's that borrow feature that I'm going to be using pretty soon. And I will make sure to show it to you guys. So just remember to stick with the channel and you can watch all this happen. But this borrow feature, I think, can help us achieve FIRE way faster because we're going to be able to invest so much more money. So if you're interested, M1 Finance, I love it. You can come take a look at it. I've got a link down below. It is my referral link. I think we'll both get, like $20 if you invest, if you sign up for M1 Finance. But if you're really set on achieving FIRE, I think this borrow feature is probably one of the nicest things that could help you achieve this way faster. You do have to be careful. And that one thing that you have to be careful about is the maintenance calls. And the maintenance call basically means that M1 Finance will not lose money. So if you invest $10,000, you borrow, let's say $2,000. In your portfolio, let's say the market just tanks. It just absolutely tanks. The closer and closer you get to $2,000, M1 Finance will start selling off your portfolio to get their money back because they will not lose money. So you do have to be careful there. And that's something that I haven't quite figured out. I don't quite understand the math yet because I can't borrow any money yet because I don't have $10,000 in it yet. But I probably will have $10,000 in it end of this year, early next year. And as soon as I do, I'll make another video on it and I'll walk you guys a little bit through how that's going. But there you go. There's a little breakdown at M1 Finance, what I like about it, why I think it's a great tool to have in your kit, and why I think, at least you should give it a try. I'm moving all my money over to M1 Finance because I've used all these other ones, and they either charge way too many fees, they're not very transparent on, USA was horrible. I barely even knew what I was invested in. Vanguard does a really nice job of giving you all the information. You can get everything you want there, but it is so hard to find it. It is tedious. Vanguard needs to redo their entire setup. But I do like M1 Finance. And I guess the one last thing about M1 Finance is it only invests twice a day. The M1 Plus, you can get it in the afternoon. If you have M1, you can get it in the morning and the afternoon, 6:30 or 12 p.m. Just depends on where you are in the country. And then if you just have the M1 regular, it just events once a day at the opening of the stock market, which is 6:30 a.m. since I am on the West Coast. But yeah, here's M1 Finance. I love it. It's great. I think you guys should give it a try. Just click on the link below and give it a shot. Tell me what you think. Tell me what you guys think on the borrow feature. Am I just completely missing out on here? Do I not know what I'm talking about? Because I think there's some great opportunity right there in this borrow feature. But hey, this is Breaking the Cycle with Devin. Thanks for coming to the channel. If you like the video, just like, comment, subscribe. If you got any questions, any videos you want to see, just let me know. Thanks for coming to the channel.